What is up, guys? DRC3 here, back with another My Hero Ultra Impact video, and we finally know what the new events and new recruit are going to be. That's right, they are going to be Shiketsu High related. We have the You're Under Arrest, the Great Shakedown event coming up. In this event, you are going to be able to get these memories right here. We'll talk about what this memory does here in a second. You'll also be able to get the normal stuff in the event shop, such as the UR memory ticket, the SR memory ticket, all your silver tickets. But the cool thing is you get this Shiketsu High hat this time. That's actually kind of a cool item. I'm excited to get that. And then the poster, and then all these other things are normal. But the really cool thing is the pieces that you get for the SR character this time around. This SR All Might is really good in VE Tower. So the fact that you're able to get his pieces for free, buy up those pieces. That is really nice in this event shop. The Kirishima's met, like he's not as good obviously, but this All Might, like, he has been really good for VE Tower, and if you can get his DX route done and stuff like that, it makes him even better for VE Tower. So it's great that they're giving us free pieces for this All Might. That's going to help a lot of people out, especially in VE Tower if you know how to use him. He's just a really good character, guys. I can't stress it enough. So that's really cool that they're giving that to us for free in the upcoming event for the Shiketsu High You're Under Arrest, the Great Shakedown. And then so the new memory that comes with the event is called I Want to Know More. It increases character's power by 35%, reduces bleeding damage to character by 20%, and lowers chance of character bleeding. Now, I'll tell you right now, this memory is not great as a free. This is probably one of the worst free-to-play memories we've gotten in a minute. So, I mean, don't worry about saving extra copies or anything like that. Get your 5 copies, put them all into one DX copy, and that's all you're going to need. It's not a super great memory. It's not worth having multiple copies of. And yeah, it's just not very good. As for the banner actually has some better stuff on it. I've already taken a look, so we'll talk about that here in a minute. But the banner is looking interesting, to say the very least. And this is a general pool banner unit that we're going to be going over. And then alongside the new banner and the new event, we are getting some drop rate up campaigns. We're going to be getting the main quest campaigns ×2 this time, not ×3, coming up on these weekends. You can pause the video and take a look at the dates there if you guys want to see when all these campaigns are coming up, but these are coming up in the game as well. And then we also have Climax Battle returning for Best Genist. This will be starting on April 22nd and run until May 11th, so you have a little bit of time to work on the Best Genist Climax Battle if you weren't able to beat it before. This is your chance to finally beat Best Genist in a Climax Battle. That's exciting. I really like this one because it felt challenging, and I'll be trying to do, of course, another Climax Battle video, try to come up with some unique team to beat him with. But now we have even more characters out, I feel like it's going to be easier to beat this Best Genist Climax Battle using the new characters that have come out in the game since the first time he came around. So that'll be interesting to see how that goes. And then we are also getting these banners alongside the Great Arrest Shakedown recruit. We're going to be getting an SR April ticket. That's from the event, right? And then we're going to be getting an int type recruit banner. Int type recruit banners don't have a ton of value if you're wondering if you should summon on these or not. They're okay if you are a new player, and that's about it. But I honestly wouldn't summon on this banner with the JP anniversary coming up next month in May. And I'll talk more about like whether you should pass or pull on this banner in a separate video, and I'll kind of, so we'll go over the kits in this video, but I'll break down their kits more in a separate video, why they're good, why they're bad, and tell you guys if you should pass or pull on this banner as well. And then we're also getting the super bargain UR recruit ticket, so you'll be able to apparently buy the UR character / memory recruit tickets in the shop once again, and then decide if you want to spend your money for those. And then this one is the free-to-play April UR memory recruit ticket. Next, we have the banners. So the characters that are featured on this banner, we are finally getting a UR Inasa, and we are getting an SR Meat Lump guy, the dutiful Seiji. I can't say his name, that's why I called him Meat Lump guy, but yeah. So we're getting those two, and then we're getting this UR memory here and the SR memory. Honestly, I am probably more excited for the SR memory than the UR memory, but you'll see why here in a minute when we go over them. So let's start with Inasa here. This is like I'm excited to see Shiketsu High making it into the game as a UR. I did not expect them to actually do this right now, so to me, this is hype. I love getting new characters that are not already in the game as a UR, so I am excited for this. We have the plus ultra move called Dance of the Storm. It deals 550% damage to a single opponent, increases character skill impact relative to speed, medium chance 40% of causing the opponent to bleed for 3 turns, also gives all allies the ability to evade 1 time. Giving all allies the ability to evade 1 time is interesting. And then the first action skill is called Mountain Storm. It deals 400% damage to a single opponent, increases character speed by 30% for 3 turns, also gives character the ability to evade 1 time with a cooldown time of 3. A cooldown time of 3 is amazing. Now, I know this isn't like the most ridiculous action skill right here, right? It definitely doesn't have as much as the recent Vigilante Deku with all his ridiculous effects and the Fajin and all that stuff that's going on. Obviously, this is quite a bit more simple, but just the fact that it has a cooldown time of 3 makes him inherently already fairly good for like V Tower, for example. And then his second action skill is called Dragon Whirlwind. It deals 250% damage to all opponents, increases character skill impact relative to speed, low chance 20% of causing all opponents to bleed for 3 turns. Now, a low chance is not great, 20% is not great, but he makes up for it with his auto skill below, which we'll see. And his cooldown time on that action skill is 4 turns. Now, if this was a double 3-turn cooldown, it would make him really, really good, but they balanced it out by making it a 3-turn and a 4-turn cooldown. The first auto skill is called Heroic. It makes character ecstatic when HP is 50% or higher. So basically, this guy comes into combat being ecstatic, raising his plus ultra gauge 50% faster than other characters. Increases character speed by 30% when character is ecstatic. So he also increases his own speed as long as he's ecstatic. And then his second auto skill, Honest Heart, when character is ecstatic, increases character's defense by 30%. So he also increases his own defense, which is cool, and increases character's chance of causing bleeding. Now, as for how much he increases that chance of causing bleeding, I don't know the exact percentage or how much it would be, but I would assume it's enough to make this low chance like a medium chance on this action skill, and then to make this medium chance on his plus ultra a high chance of causing the opponent to bleed. So while it may seem like a simple kit, his cooldowns and stuff make him somewhat decent and interesting. And then let's take a look at his arts here. We got his Unawakened art. It looks like he's holding a Rasengan, like literally. It looks so funny, but that's hey, I like it. I like the colors that they've added in here. They didn't just make it like, how do you show wind, right, in a image? So I mean, fair enough, fair play. And here is the Awakened art of Inasa. I actually really like his arts and what they've done for the wind, the colors they've chosen. Blue is one of my favorite colors though, so I might be biased. Let me know what you guys think of his arts in the comments, but I feel like they've done a good job with his arts. I don't feel like they've done him dirty at all. And as I always say, you know, the art team is just carrying My Hero Ultra Impact. Like, the art team is great. Some of the effects on some of the characters not always super great, but this is a general pool unit, and so for what this general pool unit is, I feel like his kit is actually fair and decent for a general pool unit so far. We're also going to watch Inasa's Plus Ultra thanks to Hydros. This will be my first time seeing it. I have actually not watched this yet, so I'll get to react to it with you guys and tell you what I think of it. So I'm excited to see what the new UR Inasa's Plus Ultra looks like. Hopefully it looks better than the SR Inasa, but you never know. So we'll go ahead and press play here. Okay, sick tornado. All right. Okay. Oh, and they added in the blue skies at the end. We gotta watch that one more time. Okay, that was sick. That was actually sick. Oh, I like it. I like it, guys. So yeah, that was Inasa's Plus Ultra, and I'm not gonna lie, for a general pool unit, I like the tornado. The tornado was honestly, that was cool. I'm just probably like hyping him up a little more than I should though, just because I'm excited to see other characters in the game besides class 1A characters. Like, it's cool to me. I would love to see class 1B characters. I'd love to see more pro heroes. I'd love to see more villains, and I think a lot of you guys feel the same way. And so even though Inasa is not the most, you know, hype character, it's hype to me because it's something new. So I think that's really, really cool. The next character we have to talk about, and I'm sorry if I butcher the name, I really don't know how to say this one, is Seiji Shishikura. I hope that was, I feel like that was decent, right? That was somewhat right. But the reason I am choosing to do the SR character second, because normally I do the UR character second, but I'm doing the SR character second because I feel like the SR character is actually, honestly, in my opinion, more hype than the UR character this time around, and that's a good thing because SR characters are typically, you know, easier to pull than UR characters, but I have been waiting for this guy to have a playable character in game, so he's finally getting a playable character in game. And as far as SRs go, he actually has a fairly decent kit, and I like it a lot. So let's talk about what he does and what his kit includes. His plus ultra move is called No Right or Wrong. It deals 500% damage to a single opponent, medium chance 40% of causing the opponent to become a meat lump for 2 turns. Also shortens character's action skill cooldown time by 1. Shortening action skill cooldown time is good, especially when you have 5-turn cooldown, so this gives him 4-turn cooldowns automatically, which makes him a very, very, very viable VE tower unit, and that's typically what we're looking at when we're looking at SR characters. And then his first action skill is called So Pathetic. It deals 250% damage to all opponents, low chance 30% of causing all opponents to become a meat lump for 1 turn, so that's pretty good. And then if character receives an attack while having the ability to cause the opponent to become a meat lump, increases character's skill impact by 30%. This part could be confusing to people, but that relies on his second action skill, and it'll start to make sense once we read that second action skill there. His second action skill is called a Body Metamorphosis. For a span of 3 turns, when character receives an attack, so for 3 turns after you've used this action skill, medium chance, it includes the turn you used on, medium chance of causing the opponent to become a meat lump for 2 turns. So anytime he gets attacked, he has a medium chance of causing whatever opponent attacked him to become a meat lump for 3 turns. It's kind of similar to Kirishima, so I mean that's really, really good. It increases characters plus ultra gauge by 40% when used in a successfully executed skill chain. That's good. Any character that raises their own plus ultra gauge is good. And then increases critical hit rate of all allies by 20% for 3 turns when used in a second or later successfully executed skill chain. So that's 2 technical hits and 1 action skill, which is good. He increases crit rate, he increases plus ultra, he has status elements, he has relatively decent cooldowns. Like, do you see now why I'm saying this SR character is really, really good? Because he is good. He's going to be very good for VE tower. And if you don't know what meat lump does, I didn't really explain that. It's similar to paralyze. It just stops the enemy from doing anything for however long the meat lump lasts. Like here it lasts for 1 turn, here it lasts for 2 turns. It just depends on how long the meat lump lasts. And then the first auto skill is called Egoist. I think did they mean egotist? Maybe, I don't know. Anyways, decreases speed of all UA high student opponents by 30%. Once per battle, reduces damage to character by 30% for 2 turns when HP is below 50%. Not the greatest auto skill. Reducing the speed of all all UA high students, apologies, is like, I don't know how much that's really going to help you, especially when it comes to VE tower PvE content. And then reducing damage by 30% when your HP drops below a certain amount, that's actually decent on an SR character. Gives them more survivability and gives him more versatility in different towers where he might normally die easier because SRs have lower health. So that's actually decent, but overall not like a super like crazy auto skill there. His second auto skill is called I Will Show You. If character receives an attack while having the ability to cause the opponent to become a meat lump, so after he's used this action skill up here, increases skill impact of all allies by 25% and critical hit rate by 10%. So he basically can give crit rate of 30%, the 20% here up here on the action skill, and the 10% down here to all allies. So he is a 30% crit support, and that is really good for a Shiketsu high student. To add on to that, if you, let's say you were a whale, or maybe even a dolphin, and you wanted to get a couple copies of this guy, enough to DX him, let's say you were able to fully DX him, there is a DX skill that increases critical hit rate of all Shiketsu high school allies by 15%. So you could potentially, with just this one SR character, if you were running Shiketsu high students alongside him, give your whole team 45% crit. which is pretty dang good for an SR character, honestly. So hopefully you guys can see why I was saying that Seiji Shishikura is such a good character. And then of course we have his arts here. We have the classic meat lump with the eyeball, and then we have his, you know, finger hands, whatever you call this, meat lumps, we'll call it meat lumps. Then you have his meat lumps behind him. And so if this was a UR, honestly, these floating like on the home screen would be so sick. But I feel like I wish he was the UR almost, and I wish Inasa was the SR. But you know, it is what it is. He'll have his day eventually. But for an SR, not bad. I'm happy to start with him. Next, we have the full power smack UR memory. And before we even get into this memory, can we just acknowledge how great the art is for this memory? Like, the art team is literally killing it. It looks so good. It's so good. Now, in terms of what this memory does, it increases character skill impact by 50% if there are any UA high class 1A characters on the team. That's easy to achieve, right? And a skill impact of 50% is quite high. The problem with the memory is it doesn't increase like critical hit rate alongside it or anything like that. So in terms of like uses in VE Tower, you're not going to use this memory because you're going to use a memory that gives you crit rate along with skill impact or something else like that. There's just better choices. And then when it comes to PvP, I mean, I guess you could run this memory if you want your character to hit harder, but it's not going to be super useful because you're not going to get the full benefit of the rest of the memory, where it says increases character speed by 30% if there are any big 3 characters on the team. You're probably not going to be running big 3 characters on your PvP team right now. And then once per battle regenerates characters HP by 20% for 2 turns when HP is below 50%. That's just a decent thing overall. That's not really like a main effect. So we're focusing just on the first 2 parts. So in terms of like the first 2 parts, I don't really know where this memory is going to be used as a UR memory, to be honest with you guys. But if I had to guess, I'm guessing they might be releasing at least another big 3 character from season 6 sometime here in the next few months. And then this memory will find some uses. That would be my guess. I don't know anything. I mean, that would just, I feel like that's a fair guess, and or maybe just a hope, maybe copium, I don't know. But I would like to see some new big 3 characters with better kits than what we already have in game. And so maybe that is something we could see potentially with the introduction of this memory. And last but not least, we have the new SR memory, Ragnarok Womb, featuring Tokoyami. And I love this art from season 6. This is great art, and the effect matches the art. Like, it is a good effect, a good art. It's a great memory. So it gives character ability to use 2 normal attacks for 3 turns when a wave starts. When character has the ability to use 2 normal attacks, increases character's critical hit rate by 30% and critical skill impact by 30%. Now, if you guys remember Vigilante Deku, the more attacks he has, the more crits he lands, the faster he stacks Fajin. This memory is designed for that, man. This memory will be really good, like on Vigilante Deku. It'll be good in VE Tower in general, just giving your character additional attacks and then giving him additional crit rate as well. But then they just put the icing on the cake with increasing the critical skill impact by 30%. Like, this feels like it almost is illegal to put on an SR memory. It's crazy how good they made this SR memory. It's ridiculous how good they made it, really. The one thing that does limit it is that it only lasts for 3 turns. So that's the only downside to this memory, is that you are only going to be able to have that increased crit rate, that increased skill impact, as long as you have 2 normal attacks, and the 2 normal attacks only last for 3 turns. But if you have another character on your team or another way to give your character 2 additional attacks, then they will still get this increased crit rate and increased skill impact after turn 3, which is interesting the way that ends up working. So this memory, really good, and I personally, I would summon for this memory alone, but I will talk more in a separate video about whether you guys should be summoning for the new UR Inasa. We'll break down his kit a little bit more. Same thing with the SR Seiji. We'll break down his kit a little bit more. And so make sure you guys, if you aren't already subscribed, go down there, hit that subscribe button so you can get a notification when that video comes out on whether you should pass or pull on these characters. If you guys enjoyed this video, please go down there, hit that like button, leave me some comments about what you thought, and thank you guys for watching. Peace.